President Aquino often talks about the rise in the country's gross domestic product over the last few years, but critics are quick to point out that this economic growth has not reached the poorest of the poor. The Economic Intelligence Unit says the wide income inequality between the country's rich and poor will continue. But officials from the National Anti-Poverty Commission, the Presidential Commission for the Urban Poor, and Senator TG Gingona claim there are studies that show the country will become a tiger economy in the coming years.
Well, I don't think it's fair to say the Philippines would be one of the poorest in the region. I mean, if you compare the Philippines, whether you're talking GDP per capita or GDP as a whole, it's certainly bigger than Laos, Cambodia.
Irerespeto ko yung pag-aaral nila. Pero sa ngayon, kami, partikular ako kasi yung sektor namin talaga pang mahirap. Sinusubukan namin na kahit papaano mararamdaman din ng kaunti ang asenso na sinasabi at pag-aaral din sa ibang bansa ng ekonomiya natin. In 2 years and 3 years, mararamdaman din yan.
Things don't happen overnight. If you make a reform in education, you can feel the effects a decade later. So what's important now is we start the reforms and they will be felt a decade later.
NAPC Secretary Jose Rocamora says it's clear the country has a long way to go in the fight against poverty compared to countries like Singapore and Thailand. However, the government is pushing for programs focusing on the poorest sectors of the rural population like coconut farmers and fisher folk.
The challenge is spending the government's money more and number two, focusing on inclusive growth by focusing on the poorest segments of the rural population and the poor municipalities.
Senator Francis Escudero agrees. He says 7 billion pesos or less than 2% are being spent on farm-to-market roads where majority of the poor are found in the agriculture sector.
By improving farm-to-market roads in an area, we can possibly increase the income or earnings of a farmer anywhere between 3 to 8% according to a recent study of NEDA.
But whether it's political will, eliminating corruption, or proper implementation of programs, Senator Sergio Osmeño believes it all comes down to management.
Get somebody who knows how to manage in the office of the presidency. If your manager is incompetent, then nothing much is going to happen.
The think tank claims that continuing economic expansion in the next 4 years will benefit the poorer segments of the population, but poverty will remain a problem. Ana Estanislao, CNN Philippines.